Hello and welcome all to FuwFM. It's been about half a year since the last one. This is now officially a bi-yearly or half-yearly podcast. Yep. That's our official timeline now. Every 6 months we make an episode. Okay, and today's topic will be common routes. Yep.
I thought we did one pretty recently, actually.
Yeah, last one was 2 months ago.
Wow, it really was?
Yeah.
We're a lot better than I thought.
And then
That's
the one
true.
before that was 4 months ago, and then the one before that was 8 months ago.
Oh, 8 months. 8 months. Okay. Okay, so sometimes we have school and we have life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we just forget about it.
Oh, we just forget about it. We run out of good excuses. Anyways, so common routes. These, of course, for those plebs who don't know what a common route is the place usually at the start of a visual novel where you get to know the characters. You go through usually slice of life themed moments. They're usually considerably long, and then meaningful choices start to come, and then you go into every character's actual route. Right? That is a common route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and now that we've introduced the topic, let's introduce the dudes who are going to talk about it. First, there's me, Daddy, hello. And then we have Ash, who's half asleep over there. I can say hi, Ash.
Hi. I've got pillows because I'm tired.
Okay. And over here we have Jptje.
That would be me. Hello, people.
Hello. And we have Kevin, who hasn't joined us since forever. God, when's the last time we did an episode?
Hello. I don't know.
It's been like
Yo.
3 episodes.
That was the Fate Stay Night podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
Probably.
almost exactly is that a year ago?
Yeah, it's like a year ago.
No,
Sorry,
actually it's 11... No, that's 8 months ago.
8 months ago.
Wow.
Still a year.
Great.
Okay. So that's usually due to time zones because it sucks to be in America. You know, even before Trump is president.
Oh.
Shots fired.
Okay.
You're getting the YouTube comments so riled up
No.
here, Babiker.
No more politics. Okay. And over here we have Zaka. Say hi.
Hi, proud Swedish Viking here. Make podcasts great again.
Okay, good.
Vikings.
Well, guys, no, not even a hint. I'm already.
You did it.
We're
You did it
depressed
to yourself.
Already. People are depressed already as is. Anyways,
Uh.
common routes. Yes, common routes. Right. So first, I'll go over what do we personally think about common routes. Okay.
Mhm.
And since Ash is a little tired, I'll start with someone else who's not myself because
Thank you.
I am me. Okay, go ahead, Kevin, since you've been a while.
They're shit.
Good.
I love the controversy. Here we go.
Yes,
Here we
okay.
go. This is gonna
That
be
was a
podcast,
very
actually.
deep and thoughtful comment. Yeah, I totally agree with you, and yes, that's,
Elaborate.
that is
Well-
how you discuss people. Okay. Anything you want to
Not
add?
really.
Go ahead.
Like, of course, I'm not the biggest fan of them. Obviously, that was more for comedic effect than anything. But
Yes.
Oh, come on. You should have stuck by it.
I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, they can be done well, but they just drag on way too long.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a fair opinion, and more or less mine. Although I probably hate them a lot more, but yeah, in general they just way too long, and in my opinion, sometimes completely unnecessary. So sometimes they are necessary. Anyways, that's PD.
Yeah.
I feel like that
Yeah,
if you make them, if they feel too long and you cut the part off that makes you think it's too long, then you very quickly think it's too short because there's not enough exposure. I definitely feel like they have their place. I would be more on the side that is in favor of most common routes, even the really long ones.
I don't know. I've actually
I
sometimes
think
it
it's.
I've sometimes completely skipped like when I'm really bored, I'll just go through it, but just control Z. Oh, sorry, just control and just skip through the entire
Yeah.
thing
Really?
once. Well, it
I
happened
think
once.
it feels I think it feels long because, well, if you're bored with it, then anything's gonna feel long.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing this for engagement, and when you're not engaged, you're just sitting there bored. It's like, come on, apparently there's something cool. Why can't I get to it yet?
Yeah. And especially, you know what's worse is when they keep hinting at it and they keep telling you, oh, by the way, there's still huge world domination stuff going in the background that we'll get into after like 30 hours of just reading all this fluff that will never end.
But we also have to go to math class in half an hour. Yay!
Yeah, exactly.
And play
The world is
lacrosse
gonna
and
end
stuff.
over there in a while, but first we have to, sit here in classroom and, talk about which side of the bagel we eat first.
Well,
Yes. All right,
yeah, I don't know.
that's
I think I'm the last one.
Okay, Zaka, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go against the grain here and say that quite often I like common roads, and I think a big part of that is I can actually enjoy slice of life comedy scenes, which you guys seem to hate, and I think that actually,
It can be good at times, but most of the time,
yeah, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I know. I personally found Grisaya's common road really fun, which is pretty much the deal breaker for a lot of people. I
Yeah.
know you guys.
Grisaya? Did you say
might not have.
Grisaya?
Yep, Grisaya's common route. I found it really fun.
It
Some
was-
people
it wasn't-
disagree.
It really was.
Yeah.
For me, it was funny, but it was just too goddamn long. Like, okay, like
Yeah.
I don't read
Yeah.
I don't read visual novels for comedy. Like, it came to the point where it felt like that. Like I was like I just want 5 minutes of comedy and then get to the serious, not 50 hours of comedy and then like 5 minutes of seriousness. Like, what the heck? That's what.
Yeah, I think that's
Anyways. Yeah.
the big issue where it's they tease something bigger. They focus on like there's going to be some big event in like 30 hours, so you're not going to be able to play it. That's what gets to me. I mean, I watch a lot of slice of life comedy anime, but because it's only slice of life comedy, they can focus more on the gags and stuff. I think visual novels with their slice of life, they have less comedy. It's just more nothing.
I think it's also the issue that you can't really introduce to the reader what's going to happen. Like, they don't know what to expect of it if they just like do some little bit of world building and then just slice of life for 30 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
they don't really introduce the main reason why this VN was made, because it's not the common route.
Yeah. One thing that really pissed me off, has anyone played Hoshizora no Memoria?
Yes. I
At the very
played almost all of it.
Yeah, I gave up after the main girl's route, essentially.
The main girl? Who?
That
is spoiler territory.
Spoilers inbound.
But it's like,
Wait.
The girl with white hair?
Sorry if this is off topic, but main girl, you can't even read her route until you've read like all of the other girls.
that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, wait,
they
you took
tease
someone
her
straight
You
at
from
the
read
the
through
beginning.
all of it and then you quit?
After I finished that route, there's one more route, and I haven't played it because I was done.
For the love of God, that's
I'm
you
done.
got like
He was done.
50 hours of a 55-hour version of it, and then you said, no, I'm done with 85%. I'm not gonna read these last 15%. I'm done. I'm leaving.
But the word.
What the heck?
Okay, so the point I was saying, the reason why I bring it up was because they tease one girl at the beginning of every route, like the intro scene is like,
Oh yeah.
they tease her so hard, and then the rest of the game is completely unrelated.
Yep.
And that just got me so pissed. I just wanted to see her route, and it's like,
It's just the exact same as everybody else's. It's nothing special. This is what you were teasing all the time. You promised a huge cake and all I got was this little chewy gum.
Okay, now that we finished our
Basically.
Hoshizora no Memoria review, let's go.
Yeah, very short one. We've talked a lot about Toshiba with like previous podcasts because apparently people have actually read it, so
No
we
one's
can
read it.
alternatively
Right,
shit on it and not shit on it.
Okay,
But
so wait, so
yeah.
Zaka, you're in favor of common routes. You're in favor of common routes.
Yeah, I
As in
mean,
you like them. You like the
yeah, I
long.
kind of like common
Okay.
routes. Like, this is the thing. I can like both comedy and serious shit, and I'm completely okay with reading comedy for a certain time and then getting serious shit. Like, I don't think there is an inherent problem in mixing the two, and even in putting the two in like different blocks. It's just about whether or not like you like the stuff or not in general. Now, part of it is probably that I haven't watched infinite amounts of anime, and
Yeah,
I'm still
probably that's
not
a big
completely
part of it.
inured to the various gags that we use. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's not such a huge problem. I don't know.
Alright.
We have very few people here that seem to be really into like the more Moe style games that don't go for story that much. And I feel like we kind of need one because I've
We
seen.
kind of do.
We
I
need
mean,
we need
you go
Steve over
on-
here, huh?
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
if we could get like Elias here or something, that would be
Elias
great.
or Wes or like anyone.
Anyone?
Yeah, I don't know, not Wes.
Anyone else?
He only likes Chunimo again.
Chunimo Wiki, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
We should drag Steve on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
you're a murderer.
Yeah.
He'd say that.
Alright.
Well, yeah, that's our opinions,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, and now is your time, Ash. Take us a spotlight. Unless well, you
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
already said it, but you go ahead.
Okay. What do I even know about common routes, or what's even my opinion on it? I think it depends heavily on how it's done and in what visual novel it is that they put it in. I think it works in some cases, others not. How do I exactly do I put my words, my thoughts into words? I'd say a pretty decent example of when it's done well, it's when the common route is essentially holding the same tone as most of the other novel. Like, for example, Katawa Shoujo, or to some extent Clanad, I suppose. Because in that case, you just kind of... you can kind of see how the story is going to progress based on your choices during the common route there. And furthermore, in Katawa Shoujo, there's no... what's the word I'm looking for? There's no final route, per se. You don't have any last part of a story hiding behind all of the other routes. So you're not necessarily forced to go through the common route every single time over and over and over again. You can just kind of go through it for the number of times for the characters whose routes you want to see. For something like Ever 17, on the other hand, in that game, it was done really terribly. Because for one, you really are forced to go through the common route at least 4 times if you want to see the entire story. On top of that, the common route doesn't
Well,
doesn't
it was
change.
a little different. Yeah, I was going to. It's a little different every time. They play different
What?
games in Ever 17. The common route is slightly
Huh?
different.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
they're-
there are different parts
Yeah.
and like some
in
branching
in
stuff,
some of
but
them, like for example, they play they'll kick the can, and the other ones they don't. That's what I can remember off the top of my head. But there was some
I
Yeah,
mean,
difference.
those
I mean,
part where-
differences
Magic.
those differences can seem to be more annoying though, because if
Yeah.
they were all the same, then you can just control through it. But the fact that
Yeah.
they're different means you have to
Yeah,
stop and go through
that
it.
is
That was
that
a
is a good
big
point.
thing in There was a big thing in Little Busters, for example, where every time
Oh yeah,
you
I
played, there was a very
hated that in
small
Little
difference
Busters.
Yeah,
I
I
one of those
hated
people who
that in
actually-
Little Busters.
I actually
That
read
was
it like
so
many
annoying.
But they were
like
but,
Little-
but in Little
I
Busters,
can imagine
it
it
was
being
very,
really annoying.
it was very, but in Little Busters, it was very short. I mean, I remember I would control through the vast majority of it. Then I would get like 2 lines. I would get like 2
Yeah,
new
exactly.
lines. And
Yeah.
then,
Exactly, you control
Yes,
through it,
but
then you get two
that
new
is
lines.
Yeah.
that's the exact problem. That's the
but-
exact problem when you control Kang through the common route, but there are these sections which are changed here and there. Then suddenly you just get this random scene right there, and you have no idea what the context is around it, because what's happening? I'm just skipping past through all this stuff, and it was a month ago that I read the common route last time. I don't know what's going on, and so you just get all these really tiny, really disconnected scenes, which you just sprinkle out here and there. So with Little Busters, either you're forced to read the common route the entire thing multiple times, or you have a bunch of new scenes which you don't really understand the context for or how they connect together to each other.
Yeah, but the scenes were
really
so
annoyed me.
few and so, in my opinion, meaningless that I couldn't care less. I mean, who cares? Like if you miss a line,
they did definitely include some like character development. For example, with Rin, she changed a little bit every time you played it again. Like she grew up.
Yeah, but those were obvious. No, but those were clear. I remember those. Yeah, but those were clear when they were. If you would like suddenly.
And that's actually pretty important for characterization, I would say.
Oh, but it was. Oh, but that was the only one I could actually remember. The rest I could completely not remember. That it was just Rin's was because she slightly she would react differently, just slightly, and start not beating the muscle guy, for example. And just small stuff like that. Yeah.
She
muscle
started
guy.
beating the Muslim guy?
No, she stopped.
What?
She stopped.
The muscle guy.
She stopped hitting the
Muscle guy, okay.
Yes.
Masato confirmed.
Yes. What's he called again? Yeah. No, but at first, for example, she used to kick him every time he'd say something, and then afterwards she'd just like ignore him.
But one thing you said about it only working if it's the same tone, I actually disagree with that. I think it can work out perfectly fine if the tone's completely different even. Like many common routes are like very comedic, slice of life stuff, and then it goes way more serious near the end. Like say Grisaya or Rewrites, they are completely different near the actual stuff. And it works perfectly fine for those because those are both really good visual novels. I think most of us can agree, except probably Babby.
What visual
Well,
novel?
when it comes to rewrite too, is that the common route is actually like expanded on in ways that Grisaya kind of hints, but rewrite just kind of turns it on its head at times, which is really cool. The way it handles its common route and its character routes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would also say that those games would not work without the common routes, because a big part of visual novels is that you are more engaged with the characters than in most other media.
Yeah, that's a big part of common routes. I mean, most people here are negative. We probably should get a better balance of it. I mean, if you go onto any forum, you'll see that most people like common routes. But, with visual novels, you can really get to know the characters. That's the point of common routes. You just are there in their normal lives, getting to learn what makes them tick. And if you cut them out, then you would get a totally different experience.
That's fair enough, but if you're telling a story, or at least a well-written story, then you shouldn't need to have all of your character development and your character introduction just as a separate huge chunk before the rest of the story. You should be able to tell it simultaneously as the rest of the plot progresses.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
that's
agree
a
with
good
that.
point.
That of course depends on the kind of story that's being told, but yeah, it's definitely something that can go side by side. But I think the reason that's not done as much, like you probably do see it, I can't immediately think of an example, is because it's so annoying to get everyone to see the same amount of content. Like, common routes make it easy for the reader to always have this amount of content. Like, if the common route is good, that's a piece of content that's not wasted. If you make lots of branches and stuff, it's you don't get, the money you pay for something is like twice as much, because if say there's 2 big branches early on and the reader only reads one of them and he judges his opinion on the visual novel based on that one branch, then essentially the other half of the novel is worthless. It's not worth anything.
Sure.
So
I
you
don't
want
know.
everything to be the same in the beginning. Of course, I'm generalizing a lot, but I think that's the general idea.
Do that many people really like not to read like both branches if it counts? Because it's like it's a bit, I don't know. Like that doesn't seem that accurate to me. I think common roads are kind of a sanity check that lets you save costs when writing. But I don't think that's necessarily because people won't read the other branches. It's just because writing those other branches to begin with will take so much money that it's
It will also take money, of course. That's probably a better way to put it.
Yeah.
One thing I find interesting is like why are common routes like almost exclusively just a visual novel thing. Like, I can't think of any other
Because-
like storytelling thing
Well,
where you
how would it
just
fit in
have
any
slice
other
of
that
life
exactly.
and,
Which other form of media could implement common routes?
the only one
Like
is the
video
book.
games?
Yeah, choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
books
you could
themselves.
definitely implement that in like games if we are here assuming that visual novels are not games. It's just that people don't do it because we don't want to spend that much budget. Alternatively, there are probably games that actually have branching route structures, but
Oh,
it's not
Zaka, I
that
can't
common
hear
to have
you.
extensive branching in the way visual novels have in
Yeah.
your usual game. So there's nothing really stopping it. It's just that it's not in tradition, probably because of money again.
Yeah.
I don't think money has particularly anything to do with it. I think it's more because of it's kind of like how the standard visual novel formula is kind of like built, and not many people want to change it because there are some visual novels that some people could say don't even have common routes. Like I could think Monster Girl Quest, or to some extent Senju no Maui. They kind of just jump into the plot right away.
Or almost shorter visual novels.
Oh yeah, and obviously
Yeah.
much shorter, like Planetarian or Narcissus. Just
I can
Yeah,
just run through the ones which I can remember from my head. Chaos said, Fatal Ataraxia, G-Senju no Mao. Which else do we have here?
Fatal
I think
Ataraxia is
Sentinel
a very,
Mao
it's very unique,
arguably
though.
had a bit of an introductory bit, but not.
Which
That
one?
was like 10 minutes. Just said, I was like really short. I don't think it's
That's
short
not
now.
really a.
Just
That's
Senju no
not really what I would generally associate as a
Yeah.
think of as a common route, because regardless of which choices you pick at the beginning of G-Senju Mao, you still always end up on like just chapter 2 essentially. It's a fairly linear story, G-Senju Mao, unless you go into those like tiny separate branches which goes off from the main plot.
Yeah.
You know, Tsubaki's,
Yeah, etc.
Mizuha's, and Canon's own
Shitty
arcs.
I wouldn't say that those branch offs are tiny, but what I will
Yeah.
say is that there are a decent few people who absolutely hate the branch off structure with a main heroine. Now part of that is maybe because the writer is just giving the main branch like much more attention than the rest, but
Mhm.
otherwise I think there are people that just inherently dislike that structure overall, which is perhaps a reason why it isn't done that much. I personally think it's kind of cool, but you kind of want to know that that structure is being used before you go into the visual novel, because otherwise
Yeah.
suddenly
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
you get wrecked
it
because you
always
didn't
read a
really
little
do
bit
it in
about
a good
I
order.
think it worked out pretty well in Shadow no Kuni, because there you knew that you were gonna see every goal pretty much from the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does kind of
Yeah,
tell
except-
you. It's nice. It does have a nice way of telling you.
Like, you didn't know what would happen afterward, but you did know that it was sort of linear
Yeah.
in that respect.
Shawnee-kuni
I don't
was,
know,
by and large, I would call Shawnee-kuni a linear novel. By and large. I mean,
Yeah,
there
it
are
was
tiny
fairly
differences
low, no,
here and there,
Very
but
tiny.
yeah,
Like an H scene here and there. That's about it.
basically,
Whatever.
it's like, which choices did you pick when you were going through this game? Oh, in that case, we're gonna give you a CD of this girl. Congratulations!
Yay! But actually, I really dislike the Sharon no Kuni way of doing it, because I'm a completionist, and going through and getting all the epilogues would take a huge amount of skipping through stuff.
That is
So,
good.
like, I
You
still
can
haven't
also
finished
you
it.
can also save
at
and
all.
load.
Yeah,
so
you can
that-
save and load. That's
No,
basically.
Yeah.
yeah, I can save and load, but the problem is that the choices you need to do actually start from like the first chapter, so you'd have to control through quite a bit. And there are a
it's
decent number of
like-
choices, so it would take maybe like 20 minutes of essentially work scrolling through stuff to get to like specific epilogues,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is not actually very cool.
No.
So
It's like, question actually, why do you want to be a completionist with visual novels? That seems like a huge pain in the bleep.
Why not? Is the
because
question.
I actually want
Because
to see
you have
the
to spend
epilogues,
so
but
much time skipping through junk, just like you said.
I mean, the thing is, like, the epilogues might actually be interesting. But yeah, I want like completion to be fairly easy, and I think Shari no Kuni could have instead just played it as a linear structure and had some kind of select in the end instead to what hero you wanted to have fun with in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably what I prefer what I would prefer in general. You
Oh,
can
that's
have
more of a
common route
choice
and
problem, not a common route
yeah, I
problem,
know.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
guess in a way, but like I don't know, but that is really part of how a common route works too. Because do the common route choices matter or not, or could you just like pick a heroine afterwards?
Yeah,
And that's kind of a big part of the mechanic of a common route. It also serves as a way to pick which heroine you get by raising flags during the common route. And
Mhm.
those flags are also a reason why you might have to replay the common route. Because otherwise you wouldn't have to. You could just like load up your save from the end of the common route, pick a different heroine, and go that way. Which
Yeah,
actually seems pretty reasonable to me.
yeah. I always figure that when they're making comm routes, it's like the first time you're going through the game, sure, you just go with whatever choices, and then you just go through the story the way you normally would. But after that, once you've already read it once, why not just have a menu where where the game just asks you outright, do you want to go through this storyline, or this storyline? Pick something.
Because it gets rid of the immersion and interaction of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
Kind of
actually
does. It depends a lot
honestly?
on the story, though.
Wait.
Like-
Question. Wait, Babiker, I just need to ask Kevin this. Do you think it is more immersive to hold down the control key and just following the choices via walkthrough on GameFAQs than it is to just pick a choice right at the start of the game?
Well, that's you going through game facts. You can tailor your choices for a specific character without game facts, and because you're making a decision instead of like individually instead of just picking which route you want, it is more immersive. I mean,
Okay, sure, fair enough.
it just
I
depends
agree,
on.
except that there are some visual novels which are basically impossible to play with a walkthrough. I
Yeah.
do not like walkthroughs, but sometimes you need them.
Yeah,
Say Clannad or
Ever 17.
Yeah, it just
Frame.
depends on how obtuse the choices are. If they're
I wanna
reasonable, then
I want to see somebody finish Ever 17 without a walkthrough.
That's
Yeah,
impossible.
that's a good one.
I almost did it. The only thing I didn't do was like get to the end of Tsugumi's route, but with
Yeah.
a bit more.
I was going to mention
Right,
that too.
like, if I didn't fuck up like one more choice, then I probably would have gone through all the 4 initial routes without a walkthrough, and after that, I mean, getting through the last. If you're getting through Coco's route, then if you're intelligent enough and realize what is going on, then you should be able to get through that one without too much problems as well, as for
Fair
picking
enough.
the smart choices. So I don't think Ever 17 is at all as impossible. Now, if you want to
I
talk
remember
about
there was
something
no,
that's
there was one
bullshit,
choice in Ever 17 in particular, which is like, I think you had to like enter a password or something, and you have no way of knowing what to enter, and the options all
Yeah.
sound stupid, and you just kind of guess. And the problem is
Are you
you don't
talking about? Are you talking about the choice when you have this paper and the
yeah.
password is
Yeah.
on that paper and you
Yeah.
get 3 attempts?
Yeah, and the
Are you talking
problem
about
is
that
I
choice?
did it
Yeah, I
first.
remember-
999
I
had
don't
the
know.
same thing too. So
Yeah, it's like that is literally the worst way to make choices in visual novels because that entire thing it is completely arbitrary. You have no idea. The alternatives are just bonkers, all of them. So you have no idea which is the
I don't
correct
know.
choice. You have a limited number of choices, so you just pray to RNGesus. Hope you get the right choice. Roll some dice. It's
I
pure
don't know, I
random
think
I
luck.
think the
that
real
it
problem
was,
with it was that
was
you couldn't-
probably inferable.
is that you
I think-
didn't know it was a bad ending until like 3 hours after you click it. That was
Yeah,
that
that's
was the
even
real
worse.
bad part about it. If you knew that
Yeah.
if you knew your mistake like right after, you could just restart and just pick all 6
Sure.
right away. But no, you have
I
to
don't
be-
think that's a bad thing
6
necessarily.
hours of
Bad
content.
things like long bad endings are a good thing, in my opinion.
No, if it was
I
a
do not
legit
agree
bad
with that.
ending though, if it was
Yeah.
there's a legit bad ending and there's a stupid one. The one in Ever 17 was
Yeah.
stupid. It was dumb. If
Yeah,
I
I
recall
I
correctly.
remember how many times I got the like bad ending in like the branches when I was trying to get Tsugumi. It was a bit depressing because it was a lot of times.
Yeah.
I was on vacation, so I kind of had time, but it was a bit frustrating. But yeah,
Sorry if I'm cutting
So?
off you again, but
Yeah.
you said something interesting about this, JP. actually, Babiker, that the fact that the ending came so much later, the bad ending, I mean, that was a problem,
Yes.
and JP said that was okay. I think it would have been okay if you somehow knew where you had gone wrong, and so you could fairly easily go back, fix it, and then skip through the game up until
Yeah, that's
the...
a good point.
Hashtag
Like, not that
Fate
you just
Stay
get a
Night.
generic bad ending.
Yes,
because you did
exactly. That was
something
exactly
wrong.
what I was gonna say. In both Fate Stay Night and the recent Sunrider Return, the game essentially tells you this is where you went wrong. Load back at this point and then pick some other choice, and you're gonna be fine. The game literally just tells you outright.
A lot of
Yeah.
VNs have been doing that lately. I played through Root Double and it did that, which I found nice. I think Sound of Drop, I believe. I'm not sure, but a lot of them are doing that now, and it's nice to see.
Yeah, because like
Well, I
if
think
if
that-
if a novel don't do that and you get a bad ending, which literally is 3 hours after you made a wrong choice, and on top of that you've also made several other choices in between the bad ending and where you went wrong, it's like you have no idea which choice were the incorrect one. It's like, how do you figure out where you went wrong
Roll
without
some
a
more dice.
walkthrough? Like, no, seriously, how do you get through that without a walkthrough?
You trust in
Yeah.
our Jesus, I believe.
Trust in our Jesus. Yeah, trust in our
Praise our
Jesus.
Jesus.
Try to get through all the routes in one. Have fun. Try to get. Try to do that. But
Like,
yeah,
you
I
just
don't know.
brute
I think
force your way
also-
through it?
I mean, you can, but then you're fucking Kama levels so obsessed. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Back to actual common routes. I don't know, stories. Story choices. What one of you guys mentioned Fate Shadow Ataraxia, and I want to just mention just how unique this visual novel is and how it treats common routes. So, but like it has this system where you can choose to either read the plot or read the common route whenever you want. You could there's this map and there's characters in each point, and if the character has like an exclamation mark, then that's a plot, and if he doesn't, then that's just a slice of life. And you could choose to read any amount you want. Like if you click on one, you get like a scene, and then you move on. And to me, that was like the best way. Of course, it was insane for other visual novels to do this really hard, but that was just that was the best because
That was really good.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
Wait, hold on.
appreciate
How
it.
did they manage to make it like a chronologically fitting story?
It
was,
loops.
it loops.
Oh, it
too.
loops. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
All
to
the
explain.
all the Type Moon fan discs have weird structures. Have any of you tried Kagetsu Toya, which that loops and
I've
is
never even heard of it.
It's impossible to go through because, well, at least I've had so many issues trying to go through that. But it's like, yeah, they both loop with time loops, and they're very open ended with their structure.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually got through Kagetsu Toya most of the thing. I think I had like one choice fuck up, which means I didn't quite get the true ending, and apparently that's like if you fuck up something early on, then you can't get it, which is bullshit. But I got like pretty close to the end. I don't think there's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, I finished.
What-
I
from
finished.
what I've
I finished
heard.
Fate Hollow to actually 100%, and it was really
Yeah, I don't
long.
know.
Like the actual plot was like 40% of the story. So, but actually being able to read the common route whenever I want, and the fact that it was like divided very neatly into scenes that I could click out whenever I want, so convenient, man.
Yeah, that was
Question.
very, very well done.
Yeah.
Question. I noticed that you keep calling the little, like, random slice of life comedy scenes in Fatal Ataraxia for common route. I don't think I would
Yeah,
call that
they're
a
not
common
technically
route.
common
Yeah, I
route.
guess.
What about the rest of you? Would you call that a common route?
Well, I haven't
No,
read it, so I
I'd
wouldn't
call
know.
them events, character events.
Well, I mean,
I
I
would
it's more
say
like-
slice of life scenes, but
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
that's the thing is we do associate common route with slice of life.
Yeah,
Common route
sure.
isn't necessarily slice of life, but that's what we
Mhm.
associate it with.
Well,
Yeah.
the entire notion of common route seems a bit weird in this sense because you can just pick the order what you want, so there's no
Yeah.
common part you have to go through at all.
Yep. So there's
I
no
mean-
common part.
Yeah, I suppose it's technically not a common. I didn't actually think about it. Like slice of life, common route. How my mind works.
I mean, technically, like, even Euphoria has a common route, and as you may be aware, that is not actually a slice of that visual novel. It's got quite a few differences, but the same events generally happen throughout in a kind of order, so... And then you get a rather less common route, more character route experience after a certain event. But yeah, I mean, you can make a common route that is story based instead of like slice of life based.
But that makes it more difficult to make branches in choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to think of it, like, actually, yeah, Ever 17 might not be the super example of like the common route being all plot, but it's not just slice of life. You get
Yeah, it tried,
quite regular
it tried.
interruptions.
Mhm.
Yeah, it tried to keep a balance on it. Also, I do want to mention that it is not you have to go through it 4 times, to be honest, because part of
If you want to
the
read
actual
Coco's route,
thing
you
about
kind of do.
You have to go through it at least twice. I mean, you can control through 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Because
Sure.
Which is what I did.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to go through a common route twice for each side. But the thing is, the character you pick in the beginning of the game is like makes for legit differences, and these differences are important and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not playing the same common route twice.
Yeah.
That's
Well, you're
the
playing
thing
the same common route twice
Yeah.
for both sides,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like you're not playing it 4 times. I think that's unfair. And when you get to Coco's route and play that, well, maybe you can say it as a common route, but that is so fucking like off the wall in comparison.
It's too
to
different.
that.
Yeah, that's
It's not
really
really
Yeah.
common.
Coco's route is one part I've ever seen which is legit different from everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
No same needs.
I mean, it's not named well. It doesn't have a very good label with Coco's route since all she does is not do
it's
anything,
A great,
but-
Actually, it's a great label for various reasons, but it depends on your point of view.
sure, I guess it needed some name, so
The true route. Oh, okay.
No, I said it depends on your point of view. You should understand that. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to one of the main questions. Okay, so let's just go with what visual novel do you think did like common routes the best?
Ooh.
For me, I guess it's not.
hmm,
Okay,
damn, let me-
go ahead. Give you all a moment to think.
Mhm.
Anyone has an answer, you can
Yes,
raise his
really?
hand. Oh, yeah.
I am desperately going through my VNDB right now. Give me a
Holy
while.
shit, so am I.
Wow.
Everyone's going through the DB. Wow.
Okay. I'm not even gonna try
I-
because all common routes are shit.
I'd have to say either Fate Stay.
Does Fate Stay Night? I was
or,
going to ask that. Does Fate Stay Night like
Uh,
have a common route? Because I don't feel like it.
I would disagree with it even having a common route. It's so different branching from the beginning events that I
Yeah.
think it's a good example of a visual novel that doesn't
Yeah, it
really
doesn't
have a common route.
really.
No,
Yeah,
but
I-
but in the routes itself, let's say Fate, there's parts that you go through that are the same in every branch of Fate.
Mhm.
So in that
Yeah,
aspect,
exactly,
it
but that's
does.
just-
There's
I mean,
like
that's
5
just
minutes at the
continuity
start,
through
but things
branches.
change really a lot really fast. If I recall correctly,
Yeah.
in Heaven's Field and in UVW. Well, in
Yeah.
UVW and the first one, there's more similarity, but especially the last one, there's a huge difference.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
argue that it's simply a very short common route.
Really short.
Yeah,
About the same
but
as
like-
this.
Well, I was thinking, I guess it's the same issue Babby had where we associate common route with slice of life. I think it handled its slice of life pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also think Quanad did it pretty well too.
Yeah, with Clannad, I'd agree.
Hmm.
It was short.
Clannad? Really?
Clannad,
It was short.
I would kind of disagree with I would kind of disagree with Clannad. I think that first of all, this choice system is very obtuse unless you
Yeah, the
use
choices were
unless
crap.
you use
Oh yeah.
But the
a
common route,
voluminous walkthrough.
but it never felt boring.
But-
It's to me, it never felt like it was telling the same joke a million times. #Resai. Sorry.
I guess that might be true.
That's
I don't know. It's been so long since I read it, and I read the amusing fan translation. So, but yeah,
yeah. The
but
choices like were
I
bad
don't know.
for Planet. I remember like you definitely needed to walk through for
Yeah,
that. But like the common route for putting quotes was fine for me. Never boring.
I think that you did have to repeat a lot of content by skipping through,
Yeah.
but so that's like a striking answer for me. But and also, if you have to pick so many choices, you get thrown out of your flow more because of
Yeah,
like you
that's
have
true.
to check the walkthrough and shit. So I think both are things that do speak against it. But as you might mentioned, I think you might be right in that they were at least consistently funny or like different,
Interesting.
which
New, yeah,
which is
different.
kind of good. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I should say what I think my favorite might be. Um,
Go ahead.
I think
Just don't
that
say Grisaya or I'll
yeah.
look it up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Grisaya. No, I'm not gonna say Grisaya. I really like Grisaya's common rap, but I don't think it's as good as rewrites. I think
Yeah.
that rewrite
Huh? Really?
I don't
Rewrites?
agree.
I'm going to go into it, right? But let's just let Zaka finish.
Let
now.
him speak. Let
Yeah.
him speak.
Yeah, let me speak. Okay. Yeah, first of all, I think it's really funny. Second of all, I think that it keeps choices fairly intuitive and doesn't have too many of them. And third of all, I think that in the end, all the fun and all stuff is also actually has like relevance to what happens later in the character routes. I think like it is very well constructed on every level in that aspect. And the only difference for so many people is whether it's funny or not.
I think
The,
the rewrite, it's more epidemic of the issue of rewrite in general, but it's really long. You can enjoy it
Yeah.
throughout, but it's very long, and that's probably the biggest mark against it, is just the length of it. I mean, I never,
yeah.
I personally didn't have any problems with it. I blew through rewrite pretty quickly, and I really enjoyed the common route in rewrite. It's one of the better ones I've played, but it is pretty long.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's long.
One weird thing is that me too. Like I don't recall having much of a problem with the common route. I think the main reason for that is just there were a lot of differences between the common routes.
Wait a minute.
Like
I
every single
remember-
one would have like very different small, like somewhat mean, and the stories felt a little more meaningful than your average. Oh, this is just a joke common route. Hashtag Persona.
Yeah. Freaky. But Babiker, you just said that you didn't have a problem with rewrites common route. I pretty distinctly remember you leaving a comment on my rewrite review where you said that you wouldn't have even gotten into the actual story of rewrites if I hadn't told you that the intro was really long.
Yeah, that may be true. It's because I don't know. Like I was expecting it to be. I was actually expecting it to be longer, considering how much you were complaining about it in the review. But
Okay.
I guess it was partially an expectation. Like I expected it to be really long. So when I got it, it was like decently long. So I mean, I don't know. Expectations play a big part.
Basically, he gave you.
Yeah.
Basically, he gave you a trigger warning.
Yeah. And that's a weird thing because I think if I was if I like went to Gusaya somewhat expecting it to be really long, I might have read through it.
I don't
better,
think that
maybe.
would have helped you.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it would have helped you.
I'm not sure.
I came into it. One of my friends really dislikes Grisaya, and I came into it thinking like, yeah, it's not too bad. Like I knew it was going to be long. I didn't know it was going to be that long.
30 hours.
Okay. Guess that's
Yeah.
that. Don't even know. What was the question again? Oh yeah, which common ones do you think was okay? So Zach can answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
don't
wants
hate
to
me
go
for
next?
this.
Go ahead.
But I actually have one, but don't hate me for
Don't
it.
say
Karawa
Gusaya.
Shoujo.
Okay, that go.
Oh,
Say it.
Karawa Shoujo.
That's fine.
Kato Shoujo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, like
Sure.
I like it
the
too.
branches in that all felt very different. They all went
Yep.
specifically towards one person, and you didn't really feel like you were missing out on anything either. I thought
Yeah.
it was pretty much a perfect balance. It also
Well,
helps
but
that the common route there was also relatively short, which makes it a lot easier, admittedly.
There's also
Yeah.
the fact that with Katawa Shoujo, I think it was easier to segment it because different writers,
That's true.
which
Yeah.
is something most visual novels don't have. But
It was
I
also
think
really
that's a
short.
big part of it.
Yeah, it was also really short. So I think being long is
Really
really
short? I don't know about
yeah, it was really short from my memory at least. I read like 3 routes, but yeah, if I recall correctly, it was like a very small portion. Like you start picking a girl really early on.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I can I just say this, that with the Katawa Shoujo, I really like the fact that the choices which you're presented with, you can kind of tell how they would affect the relationship which you're going to develop
Yeah.
later down the line. For example, I very specifically remember one choice where you basically where you're basically offered to go talk to a certain person or just sit and just read your book as normal, and that just felt like
Yeah.
it was a novel telling you
Hanako best
that
girl.
if you want to get to know other people, you just kind of have to
Yeah.
get out of your shell and not just sit by your lonesome all the time. You kind of have to put yourself out there, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable for you. It's like the novel giving you that little push in the back. That's what
I don't know.
That's what I
I
interpreted
think,
it as at least.
Yeah.
I think you are probably overinterpreting that specific
Probably,
choice.
but that's
on
what
the
I took
other
away
hand,
from it.
I mean, that's cool. I like overinterpreting things too, so it's good that you found meaning in it.
I just like
Honestly.
choices that are simple, man. I don't like choices that require way too much. I don't know, guessing and thought. I suppose.
I just like choices that I don't really care as long as I can understand what the choice does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because if it's like scream or do or jump up and down, I was like, what?
Dear player, I have a very important choice for you.
Eat
Would you
this
like the
donut
red
or
pill?
avoid that donut.
Or the blue pill.
Well, like, do you like the red donut or a blue donut?
Yeah, Little Busters. yep, a big problem also with like Little Busters and Clouds that you couldn't tell the difference between a meaningful and a meaningless choice, and there were a lot
Yeah.
of meaningless choices if I recall correctly, like a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes things that like really seem meaningless, like I remember choosing a necklace or a ring or something, and then they suddenly they decide which girl you end up with. I'm like, what?
What are you talking about there?
That was in Clanat. That was there was when two routes branch and you decide which gift to buy. It was either a necklace or a ring, something like that.
Wasn't that in Clanat?
Yes, it was
Isn't
in
that
Clanat.
the...
Yes, in Clanat. Yep,
Yeah.
it was Clanat. Okay,
I thought you said it was Little Busters. Okay.
I said both.
He
But anyway,
said
Sure.
Little Busters and corrected himself.
Oh, okay. Sure.
okay,
I missed that.
okay.
I think one thing that really bothered me in Little Busters, since we were talking about it and I should go off topic, it was that in the common route, like, you could get an event with, what is the name of white-haired oh, Komari. Right, I forgot her name
sword
because
guy.
she's boring. Anyway, I know a person who's a big Komari fan, but I don't know, she's so
Oh,
small.
Komario. Yeah.
Any-
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah. Anyway, there is a event in the common route that you can get into, but you don't have to get it to get Komari's route. And that one serves as pretty interesting foreshadowing for her route, which may make things like not come as much out of the blue for you. And so I was kind of like a bit disappointed when I spotted it afterwards, like after having actually read Komari's route, because I thought it could have added to the actual route. And well, obviously that's kind of like just bad planning in general. But if you have a common route, you should make sure to like if you're going for a heroine, you should get the events that are interesting for a heroine.
Do you mean the one where she's asleep on the rooftop?
No, I mean the one that when she looks at fishes in the aquarium and one of them happens to be
I do
dying.
remember while
Oh,
reading.
that. Yeah.
I do remember when reading Little Busters walkthrough that you had to read in a specific order to get every single event. And I didn't get that, but I just rolled with it because I've learned my
Honestly,
lesson.
Zach, I think that's nice. I think it's nice that you can see little tidbits of the route even after or before the route takes place. Because especially in Little Busters, there's no set order in which you go through things. So I think it's nice that you can see those things even after the route themselves. So you think like, oh, hey, that's why she thinks that way, or something like that.
I think just the route would have been a better experience overall if that scene was always something you saw if you went to comedy. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, who hasn't gone with his favorite common route yet?
Moi.
You, right?
Well, I hate all common routes, so
wow.
that's fine. Okay, no, just kidding. I
Well,
just probably kind of hard, but probably just go with rewrite because it was fun, even despite its longness. Since Fate Hollow Attraction doesn't count, that was what's in my mind. Was
Yeah.
Anyways, that's mine. I think you haven't done yours, Ash.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Partially I'm gonna say this because I think it's a decent example of how mechanics and visual novels can be made pretty easy. And partially I'm gonna say this just to piss Babiker off.
Oh god.
Hoshisora and Grisaya.
Oh. Wait, you can't pick two? You can't pick two. Wait, you can't pick two.
No, I want to
good
talk
job.
about both of them.
No,
Because-
you're disqualified. I will
Both
kick you out of the
were-
podcast right now.
The worst part of the game.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. What I was gonna say about Grisaya is that there's fairly few choices in Grisaya, as far as I can remember at least. And the few which you get, it's pretty clear when you get there that which heroine's route you're gonna end up on. I think I think you even
Yeah, that was nice. That's more,
yeah.
but that's,
I think
doesn't
you-
have
I think
much to do
even,
with the common route. More choices.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think even where I think Grisai even did this, that if you were to pick a choice which would lock you into a specific route, you even get a second choice where the game even like basically asks you, "Are you certain you want to do this? You can't go back on it." Essentially. I think they did that. Or was that
That was more. No. If I recall correctly, that
did
was
that.
more.
Okay.
That was more of a bad ending. The second choice after you enter a route, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Either way. And with Hoshisora no More, there's one little tiny detail there which I always liked, in that after you've finished any given route in Hoshisora no Moria, then one little chibi model of the characters appear on the choices themselves, which would indicate that you've already read this route, and if you picked this choice, you're gonna end up on this character's route again. Like a little chibi model ends up on the choice itself, indicating that you've already picked it before.
Yep.
Like
Careful,
Saka,
this is a
and Kevin,
flag
you must know
point.
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
I remember
It's a nice
that-
touch, but it doesn't
Yeah.
overcome the flaws that they both have, which is
No, of
being-
course not. I would just point that out because it's like,
I remember a visual novel called Your Diary also did that, except they also did it before you actually went the route. It literally just pointed like, hey, this choice leads to that girl. I thought that was very interesting. I personally didn't like it, but
I guess that could be okay if it was an option to have it, because if you just clearly state that this will go to this path and this choice will go to that other path, for me personally, that would ruin immersion a little bit when I'm
Yeah.
going through the game on my first playthrough.
Yeah.
On my second, third, and fourth playthrough, then it's like, yeah, whatever, just give me the freaking story, I don't care.
Yeah. Right. I think that's everyone for that. What else do we have here? All right. Here's an interesting one. Do you think visual novels would be better off without common routes, or let's say that are visual novels that don't have common routes better than the other ones that do because of that?
well, frankly, you can't really say, in my opinion. Some stories need them, some stories don't. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
I agree with JP.
Yeah.
Like
I
something sort like, I don't know, Sayonara Uta does not need a common route just because of the
Yeah.
way the story works. But something really long, like say Rewrite, which has been mentioned a million times, you need to know the characters very well before you get into the routes. So you need a longer common route.
Ooh, I don't think.
I think
I
you
don't
could
think
do
rewrites is the best example because rewrite very little happens during the common routes when you're getting to know the characters. It would be possible in rewrite to have some sort of actual
Well, but the
important
issue
plot
is-
going
like-
on.
Well,
like
the
Zaka
issue
mentioned-
is the set events that happen with rewrite. They are they affect every story. There are set amount events that you couldn't do without. That's the point.
No, I think, like Zaka mentioned earlier, there's a lot of little things in the common route, like, say, Lucia being able to stand really spicy food, that all
Yeah,
come back in
that was
later
really cool.
on as traits of their personalities and why they do certain things. I think that's really cool.
Sure.
And when Kotori goes and takes her dog out and kills people for golden experience.
Yeah.
Even that comes back.
Uh, Interesting note.
But to be honest, I think that you could rewrite so that.
You had to.
Sorry, I had to do it.
This meme is like that.
You had to, didn't you?
Obviously.
But yeah,
By the way,
I
just
think
going to
you could
quickly
actually
mention
do it.
next week it's coming out. Rewrite. It's gonna be airing next week. So
Anime?
there.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I think that you could actually change rewrite structure somewhat and actually still have it work out. I think you could make it significantly more like Fate's Stay Night if you were
think so.
dedicated to making the work.
Yeah.
writing
But it's
work
like it's
out
fine
that
as
way.
it is. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I
I'm not
think
sure.
I think I'm gonna go a bit off the stray and say I think the visual novels would be better without common routes, mainly because
Yeah.
of Zaka's
Common routes.
comment. Like, because common routes make the story less focused. You're not focusing on any plot element. There's slice of life, but you could be focusing more on specific elements to specific characters. Works that focus on an intent, have something they want to do, they generally come out better because of it. And common routes are just diluted thought. I mean, you can say that it's easier to do common routes, but stories without common routes can be a lot better because their events are focused.
They can be, but I mean, it depends on which type of story you're trying to tell. Like, if you're
I
going,
think
if you're
you
trying
can do
to tell,
you can
let
do
me just
okay.
sure, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Shut up,
Ash.
Babiker. You're not
Go
in this
ahead.
conversation right now. I was gonna say, if you're trying to tell a story which you know for a fact that this is going to have branching paths, the reader is going to have the choice of going down whichever story path they want from the first page. In that case, you kind of need to have this, some sort of setup, some sort of common route just in the beginning, and then the story can start branching off. The first sentence is always going to be identical because you
But-
haven't
Yeah,
got
that's
main
like
You
more
don't
choices
right
call
points
those
yet.
common routes, though. I mean, they kind
Prologue.
of are, but a lot of times when we talk about Ever 17, we don't talk about the intro being the common route. We talk about
The
the
middle
long
part,
stretches of the
yeah.
game that are
Yeah,
similar.
of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, in Ever 17 it was kind of unnecessary because Ever 17 is trying to tell an actual story. I was gonna say more of something like Katawa Shoujo, because in that, there
can
the
do-
common right essentially is the part of the plot as well, because it flows very fluidly, but from the common right to the actual character arc itself. And there's not really any clear distinction where the common route ends and where the character routes actually start, other than when you get like chapter 2, whatever, the little transition thing.
You can do romance and slice of life without common routes, though, and it can be very good.
Of course.
So I mean,
But
I
in that
personally
case, are you really gonna make a branching story in that case?
you can. It's
I
just
think what Oscar is mentioning is mostly a problem of how you want the novel to branch. Like, if you have a
Yeah.
more linear story, you don't have
Yeah.
this problem at all. But if you
I mean,
want early on branching, it's
Yeah,
not
of course. I
doable
mean, if you-
without any sort of background information, and that's what common rights
Yeah.
usually
I
are.
mean, if you're trying to make a linear story, then it's like, yeah, F common routes, they're completely unnecessary. They're more like a function of that they're needed when you're making branching story paths. Branching stories, I mean.
Yeah, and well, I think this is obviously also budget related and like writer
Yeah, of
exhaustion.
course.
Yeah,
Because
of course.
like I can totally see you making like a comedy, even an ensemble comedy, where the heroines interact, which is like one of the strengths of a common route. You don't have to focus on one heroine. You can have interactions of lots of characters at the same time and have fun with that. But like if you were to make early branching and still have that kind of a multiple interaction character comedy, you would
Sure.
have to write an insane amount of content to be different, and you would also have to make it consistent because otherwise people would whine you only find them really
Yeah,
care
yeah.
about shit.
Of course,
Yeah.
we're just talking about a hypothetical situation. I can say
Yeah, exactly.
I could say I would prefer visual novels without eroge, but that's also hypothetical too. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
Yep, yep,
It's
yep,
never
yep,
gonna
yep,
happen.
yep, yep. Oh, why? Anyway.
that might happen. Fucking Steve, man.
Okay, so that is that. Yeah, I think we've done most. How much time have we gone? An hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, are we gonna end in like only an hour? Holy shit, are we like on time to finish this podcast?
No, I think it's
we need
decent,
to shit talk.
especially considering how. Well, I mean, I've already shouted on Grisai, kind of getting old.
You do that every single time.
Freaking. I don't.
thought
Unless someone
might
wants
be
to
right.
do
treating
it, anyone will go
Grisaya,
ahead.
you're treating Grisaya like it's the Antichrist. I mean, there are so much worse visual novels than freaking
yeah.
Grisaya.
But the thing is that Grisaya is the popular one. Grisaya is the
Yeah, it's the
work that
popular
everyone
one.
points to, saying this is the best visual novel out there, and it's obviously not. When you
It's
look
great.
at plot structure and things like that, and that's why it's
Yep.
because everyone holds it up into such a high standard. It's like if Marvel of Alternative wasn't as amazing as it is, and it had #1 of VNDB, anyone who looks at it, I mean, if it wasn't as good as it is, then they'd be questioning
But
why is it #1.
But that's not really something that should matter. I mean, regardless of what people are actually saying about a visual novel, won't actually affect the quality of it.
It doesn't
Like,
affect your experience,
People
though.
could say that Grisaya is the best visual novel of all time. People could say that Grisaya is the worst visual novel
But
of
it'll
all
affect
time.
your
Yeah,
experience.
It wouldn't
exactly, that's the
change
point.
the Grisaya
It will
itself.
affect your experience because you have certain expectations coming into the game.
Yeah.
If I expect,
Sure, but that's kind of your own problem for not, knowing that, okay, whatever people are saying won't actually necessarily be true for me.
I think that's an interesting point. You mentioned Mudlove. I actually have not read Mudlove Alternative, but
He's
I
like the
imagine
only
guy. Neither.
the other Mudlove games basically being in a massive common route for Mudlove Alternative. That's how I see it.
Extra is a massive common route. Unlimited, not so much. But
And that's really the reason I haven't read it yet.
yeah, understandable.
Okay, guys, let me just say something about Bellor Alternative. First of all, I haven't read it.
No
Second of all-
spoilers! No
No
spoilers!
worries.
Nobody's gonna
No worries.
spoil it,
Bob,
actually.
look,
Okay.
let me just read this meme, okay? Buffalo Alternative is a 7 out of 10 game.
Are we gonna do this again?
Fuck up. We're done here.
Are we gonna do this again?
Controversy!
It has great moments, yes, but overall it isn't all that impressive. In my opinion.
I know people who
There's
would
no-
kill you for that.
in
It
my
doesn't
humble
deserve a
opinion,
place
it
on the
does not-
hallmark of vision. Yeah, we know it by heart.
Have you memorized that thing?
Okay, wait, guys,
No, I pulled up a
wait, guys, stop. I'm gonna let you continue, but first, Babiker, JP, and me, we just have to go and get popcorn, and then you can continue. Now go on.
Okay, Clement is a 7 out of 10 game. No, let's not do this.
Yeah. You don't want
coward.
pitchforks in front of your door.
Oh, come on, I want to
Coward.
see you fight.
Coward.
Okay, I'll say one more. Utena is a 5 out of 10 anime. Okay, but we're gonna stop there, I think.
Which one?
Yeah, Revolutionary Girl Utena is a 5 out of 10 anime.
Pew pew
Thank you.
shots fired. I know people who would kill you for that too.
I don't even
I didn't even know
what
that game.
is,
Yeah,
so-
never even heard of it.
Anime.
not a game, it's an
God,
anime.
people.
Gives a damn. Anyways, okay. Anyone want to say anything reasonably meaningful? Like reasonable.
Grisaya is shit.
Oh my god.
Alright, I think that answers your question. No,
Okay.
we can't say anything.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, guys, I want to make a random recommendation since I want you to read the obscure doujin visual novel Brass Restoration.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
mention
God, I
this.
actually
No, no,
read
no.
that.
Yeah, I was
Fuck
going to
that.
mention that, like how like expectations affect me. Like, I went into Brass Restoration thinking it's the crappiest piece of crap because it's so old. It was like remember when we read it together? It was more of a meme than an actual story.
Yeah,
So,
it was a meme, but it was only a meme because of the guy who read it.
yeah. Thanks.
A certain lad named Matrox.
Yes. Oh god, he should be on this. Anyways. Yeah, expectations may affect the experience a lot. Anyway, that is that. I think we're done making reasonable points. Okay, anybody want to make any more unreasonable points? Let's just say bye.
Can I just mention one thing before you
Okay,
quit?
go ahead.
I've been reading visual novels for about 4.5 years now, and
Damn,
only
time
now
flies.
during this Skype call did I actually finally realize what the common part of common route actually meant.
Yeah?
Wow, holy
Up
shit.
until now, I thought they meant that common route as in normal route, or the mostly common, or nothing special route. But oh, it's
Shit.
a
Holy
common
shit.
as it's because the common part for every
Yeah.
route, because it's the same.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Mind is
get
blown.
it!
Uh,
I feel so dumb.
Yeah, the casual
so
ending is
dumb.
actually called the normal ending usually. That's the terminology.
right.
It's just how it is.
Right. Congratulations on your achievement, Ash. Okay, everyone say
Yay.
Well,
Your
bye.
grand revelation.
And then we're just gonna shit post.
Post.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
We
that's
should
enough.
stop here.
That's enough shit post for one podcast. Okay, everyone say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Stop.
Bye.
Yeah, stop. Yeah.
I want to go to sleep.
Grisaya sucks.
Yeah.
Oni-chan.
Alright, we stop recording it.
Yeah.